Hello everyone. In that video I will show you some very remarkable game played between former Yugoslav international master Rudlof Maric and former world champion Tigran Petrosian. Let's see what happened in that game. Tigran Petrosian was black, and after e4 he answered d6. He stood refrained of playing his favorite French and probably with more patient playing style in that game. He wanted to win game against international master and, let's say, weaker opponent, but that was wrong calculation. Let's see what happened. Knight f3, bishop g7. Maric also continues playing patiently, and probably Petrosian was satisfied because I think he just wanted to play patiently, waiting for weaker opponent's mistake. But something completely different happened. White played perfect game and black did some mistakes even in early stage of game, which was fatal for him later. After h3, knight bd7, bishop e3. Now there is not knight g4. Stopped that possibility. e5, which is very risky. You will see soon why. Queen c7 was safer to prevent queen d6 later. Well, after e5, d takes c. Black did another mistake, d takes c. Knight e5 was safer. Now after d takes c, white simply plays queen on weak square d6. And now maybe black should go for knight e8, white queen will go back to d2, and black will lose tempo with queen e7 and again knight f6. But black didn't want to waste time for knight e8 and knight f6 back. He played rook e8, maybe intending rook e6, maybe intending bishop f8, but after perfect move bishop f4, suddenly black faced huge problems. What's point? If bishop f8 attacking queen, queen just goes to d2 and knight g5 looks unstoppable with attacking f7 weak square, weak pawn. Queen e7, what else? Well, if black already played rook e8, queen e7 looks natural, and many white players will now answer with rook fd1, but queen e7 is also very strong. What's the point? Looks like waste of time, but now rook on 7 will be very passive and causing some chaos in black camp. Simply, black cannot easily fight for file, and by dominating on that file, soon you will see white will get very comfortable and very promising position. Now I suggest you to pause video to find best move for white. And of course, after analyzing some position, you will see that black pieces are not cooperating well and looks like black need more space. He should go probably for more space with b5, knight b6, something like that, or patiently b5, bishop b7, rook d8. a4, perfect move, one of key moves in that white game. Key move in white strategy. Not only preventing b5, which will be probably good for black. Not only that, but another idea is a5, fixing pawn on a7. You see? Fixing pawn on a7. After a5, if black wants to activate rook, probably he will go for a6, but then b6 and c5 will be weak squares. Well, after a4 and preventing black b5, white simply will leave black without counterplay for a long time. Black immediately played b6, that's good move, because now if white plays a5, black will counter b5 with a6 and black will improve his position. What can white do? Okay, all white pieces are activated. It's time for rooks. Rook fd1. Probably white rook is more needed on a1 than f1, so that is the reason white plays rook fd1. Bishop b7, and okay, why not to double rooks? Rook d6. Not only doubling but also attacking c6 and knight on f6. Black pieces are very passive, and he tries with a6 to prepare b5 in order to get space and somehow put down white pressure on black weakened queen side. After a6, white doesn't care about his potential threat b5, and after b5, of course, white didn't take, because a takes b will just lead to open black a file. So bishop b3, just keep tense. Well, if black plays b4, white can easily retreat knight, and black cannot take on e4 because knight on d7 is hanging. So b4, let's say knight b1 with knight d2 and knight c4. Black decided to play h6, solid move. Somehow black sets all his pawns on 6th rank in order to restrict activity of white pieces. Knight g5, as you can see, was threat, and after general exchanges on f7, rook d7 will follow. But another key moment in that game. Black just stopped white knight g5, but can still white somehow achieve that? Yes, it is. There is perfect possibility. Just see about move g4. Well, what's idea? If white plays g5, black must take, and finally white knight goes to g5, and still that knight will be untouchable there. How to stop that? Knight h7 is forbidden because knight d7 is hanging. If black plays g5, just look at terrible black position. White knight will go to e2, then to f5 via g3, of course. So black decided to play rook c8, probably with idea to play rook c7 and defend knight on d7. But of course white just follows his nice plan. g5, black took, knight took, and there is threat knight f7, you see. Rook c7 happened. First key move in that game was a4, and second key move in that game was g4. Now it's time for the third key move in that game. Now you should pause video and try to find that move. Well, that perfect move is a5. What's idea? Looks like pawn on a5 is weak and exposed, but okay, black cannot attack that pawn, and that pawn has made some brilliant threats. Bishop b6. After bishop b6, knight b6, a takes b6, white will penetrate via 8th rank, rook d8, rook b8, or f7, pawn will be lost finally. What can black do? He decided to play just king f8 and to move king from that diagonal, but once again you can see that if you perfectly lead if you play nice strategical game, finally there must be some tactic coming to help. So white could play now bishop b6, but why to do that if next move wins game at once? Bishop f7. What a shot. Final accord in that brilliant symphony. Well, black took, knight e6, king g8, knight c7. White is exchange up, black should resign, but following some inertia he just played bishop f8, but now even another tactical shot, completely destroying him. Knight e8, pure brilliancy. If bishop takes rook on d6, knight takes rook, attacking bishop b7 and rook f7. If knight takes e8, simply rook d7 with penetration. Black decided to play king h7, but that allows even one more tactical shot for white. Rook d7. And after knight d7, rook takes d7, black was completely humiliated. What a triumph, what a victory. That game is played only once in whole entire career, especially if you are only international master, but still very strong player. Rudlof Maric simply destroyed his much stronger and very very well renowned opponent. Actually, that game was played in 1970. Only 1 week ago Petrosian lost his world chess crown in match against Boris Spassky. You could see in that game how black simply neglected fighting for open file by allowing queen d6 and easily doubling of rooks for white, and simply with few just waiting moves, a6, b6, h6, black didn't do anything to fight against white growing up initiative. White just used open file with his rooks and used some weak squares, especially g5 and b6. b6 was square where white bishop intended to go with dangerous threats. Black finally allowed some tactical shots and were humiliated. Hope you enjoyed that example and see you soon with new lectures. Bye bye.